Hello Foliage Family, my name is Romani, the mother of many leafy boys, and today I'm going to be doing just some general houseplant chores. So I've learnt from my mistakes and I've taken my wind chime down while I am filming because it got very windy during my last video and the wind chimes were a little bit crazy in the background of that audio. I'm also playing around with my audio levels. I think it's the Aussie accent, but I tend to really hit hard on my S's, and I've got my mic on a plant so it's not directly below my mouth. So today I have a couple of things that I need to repot. This plant, I don't like repotting in winter, but this plant is like literally about to snap out of its pot because it has no support. Its leaves have gotten really big and quite heavy, so I need to up-pot it purely so I can sort of support this leaf more, because you can see that's it on its own, it's leaning. This plant has a bit of a smell to it. I think it has a bit of root rot, so we're going to investigate that. Its leaves do not look happy. And this was a new purchase. This plant is like literally stunning. It's a monstera Adansonii albo, or like the monkey mask monstera. I'm gonna start with the really big plant because I don't particularly want to disturb the roots. I just want to up-pot it essentially. So I've got some soil from the Leafy Brand as well. It's the alocasia mix, which I did actually intend to use for an alocasia, but this was more desperate, so I'm just gonna have to buy some more when I want to repot an alocasia later. So I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm using it for this purpose, but it's fine. This is the new pot that it's gonna go into. Bought that today, thought it was cute. I'll put it actually off to the side for now. So I don't need the sphagnum moss at the top for now. Sphagnum moss just sort of helps me figure out if it's the soil's dry enough, and helps with some of the aerial roots. You can see it's trying to throw off roots there to help stabilize the plant, but it's not much it can do. This is a really nice soil. It's going to be like a little bit more moisture retentive than I would typically want for an Anthurium because it's for alocasia, not Anthurium. You'd want it to be chunkier, but it will do just fine. It's not gonna actually be a problem that it's the wrong kind of soil. Gosh, okay. That's not going to go low enough what I want. I'm going to actually have to shuffle the roots a little bit to loosen it up because I want to be able to bury it lower. I really lost one little tiny baby root. Okay. Now can I push that lower now? Yes. Okay. That is much better. That's so much more stable. So that's the problem at the moment, is that it's so floppy, it will not stay up on its own. When I water it, I might be able to make it feel a bit more secure as well, using like the wet soil to sort of hold it into its place, because it still really desperately wants to flop. But that looks better, I think, than it was before. lot deeper in the pot, so it's probably going to be a lot happier now. And it fits. In the pot quite nicely. I'll push it in a little bit further once it's watered, but yeah, how cute. It's getting pretty late now, so I think I'm actually only going to have time to do one more, which will be this little one, and then I'll have to come back later and do the moss pole for this one. So I'm going to change my mic now. It's going on the water bottle. So hopefully you can still hear me, even though it's off to the side now. This one I have to completely redo the soil because it smelled when I smelt it earlier, like the soil. I don't know now. It had a smell. And it's been wet for like, I swear, a week. Well, that root's rotted, but that's a top root. These bottom roots look fine. So I actually don't think there's a problem. That's good news. I was waiting to see like completely rotted roots. And I can see the plug. There's a plug in there from the nursery, so I might try and remove the plug because it's not bad. Like obviously it's grown a pretty long time with the plug still in there, but the plug's made of like a really moisture retentive. It almost feels like foam material, like a foamy substrate, and having something that's so moisture retentive so close to the roots is just, it does scream like rot. Yeah, I am gonna do completely new soil. It just has, I don't see any rot. There literally, I have not seen except for one root, I've not seen any other rot. But it just, I don't know, it just has like a rotty vibe. A rotty vibe is what it has. I'm going to reuse this pot that the last Anthurium was in, and I think that is a decent size. Its leaves haven't been getting any bigger, and I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that it just doesn't have any room to grow. So I think it will do well with an up pot anyway, even though it's winter here in Australia. It's not the time to be up potting my plants. But I was under the opinion I'm also saving them. I don't know why, but I kind of get fatigued on plant care during summer and spring, and then I get to winter and I get this burst of energy and I want to take care of all these plants and do all these chop and props and extends, and I always find that there was definitely ones I should have done before it got to winter, and I've got all these plants that are too tall for their moss poles. Like I'm looking at one, my Epipremnum pinnatum. If you follow me over on Instagram, I post about it semi-regularly. It's starting to grow off the top of its pole, but I can't chop and prop it in winter. It's just asking for damage and rot. So I'm gonna have to wait till summer. Spring? Yeah. But I can't, otherwise it will get smaller. So I'm gonna have to extend all of these moss poles. I'll give it a bit of a drink of water too, but I think that is the perfect size. I just gotta figure out where I'm going to put it now, because I can't put it back where it was. It's obviously not happy there. That's a problem for later. Hello, it is day 2 now. I am sorry if the light is fluctuating a lot. It is now, I I think like 3 in the afternoon, where I get a lot of bright light in this room, but it will fade pretty quickly. So I am sorry if it gets like really bright then really dark again. This is the one that we're planning on doing today. I didn't have time to do it yesterday, but I'm hoping to pot this and get it growing up a moss pole. There's multiple nodes in it, so I'm actually really excited for like watching this one grow. It looks like pretty much every single node is got a really great balance of variegation as well. I might bring you a little bit closer when I'm doing that so you can actually see the plant in its glory. And then this beautiful plant beside me here is my variegated domesticum, and it needs an extension. For both of these moss poles today, I'm going to be using the Leafy Brand new moss poles that they have. The current one on here is the old moss pole, or the original moss pole style. And this moss pole style has like little hexagons, whether this one is like front closing. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but the bands come over the top and create a moss pole like that. This is the next size. That might be it. That's the next size up, and then that's the largest size available, which is way too big. So that is going to go on one of my other really big plants. Yeah, that's too tall. Okay, so it's the second smallest size. Good to know. So if I didn't mention it previously, that plant came from, this one came from Uprooted, which is an Australian plant store online. Stunning. And this one here is from Gotcha Plants. And Gotcha Plants is also a super great plant company. It's so satisfying. Hopefully my mic quality is better and it's not like absolutely destroying your eardrums at the moment. I'm probably talking a bit louder than I was yesterday as well. Right, so for the moss pole, I'm just going to bend the corners in. This side, this will become the rounded back. It's a D-shaped pole, which means that it has like the flat front and the curved back. So this flat part here will actually curve, and then the parts here at the front are going to be the flat part. I've never used these before. This is my first time trying them out. I've seen some companies overseas have this style of moss pole before, but they are incredibly hard to get in Australia. So when I saw that this Australian company had this style, I jumped on it because I was so excited. I've been trying to find them. I think Thickley has them in America, but yeah, Thickley's a super hard brand to get your hands on, so I was really excited to see Australian owned have a version of it. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So I'm just testing to see what it will look like, and I've clipped the top one in. That's what it's going to end up looking like. So it's really, I guess the other ones were that sturdy as well. It just feels more sturdy than I remember the moss poles feeling. But I guess, no, they are that sturdy. It's funny, I don't know why this one feels like thicker, like more robust. Like it's, I don't know. It's sturdy though. I pre-soaked this yesterday. It's just like a bucket of sphagnum moss. It's like a whole bunch of sphagnum moss that I pre-soaked. So it should be damp. So I don't like the moss pole moss to be too wet. Like I don't want it to be dripping wet, because then I just find it tends to overwater the plant. The water will just drip down into the soil and it will just overwater the entire plant. So it's moist, but it's not like soaking wet. And this is a really good sphagnum moss. I can get some decently good sphagnum moss from Mitre 10. I don't know if all Mitre 10s carry the same things, but the brand, I felt like it's Deco or Deco, D-E-C-O. I could be misremembering the name of the brand, but that sphagnum moss is quite nice. That's what I'm using right now. So I probably should have left a gap in the moss, but that's a me and 2-minute time problem. So I'm just going to try and attempt to close it up and clip in the moss. Let's see how easy this is to do. I reckon the strat here is to do the bottom and then the top and then fill in the rest. Yes, okay. And then I wonder if it's going to stay in very well. Do you know what I mean? I'm worried about it like all flopping out because it's got such big gaps. But so far so good. Alright, so the top and the bottom are locked in. I'm going to do the middle now. I think because it's such a thick plastic, it's really quite sturdy. I'm actually quite impressed so far with this. So you're a little bit closer, you can actually see what I'm doing, but it's just clicks in quite easily. I think it holds together quite well. You can see where it's clicking in on the moss pole. Noisy miner outside. Don't know if my audio is picking that up. Alright. So that's the moss pole done. That was actually pretty easy to do. Not too mad about that at all. Alright, so I'm gonna put the moss pole on top, and there's a more empty part to it here. Whether the clip goes all the way to the top and there's a section here that's a little bit more empty. So I think that is the bottom, essentially. And if I can like fit it inside of the previous moss pole, I don't know if that's gonna actually work, but we will see. Oh, it did, okay. No, I'm not mad about that. That fit in pretty easily. I'm just gonna push the other moss down. I don't think that's causing any damage. I haven't heard anything that makes it sound like it could be damaging it, so we will go with it as fine. Oh, and I was going to take the Velcro, but I don't need to, do I? No, because there's clips. Okay, so then I need to take... Usually what I do is I grab the Velcro and I put the Velcro around it to hold the stem, but I don't need to do that. I need to get the clip out. That one was harder to do because it was kind of right at the bottom of that stem. Okay. Take those two out, push that into the moss, and clip it back in. Oh, I love it. Okay. Yeah. And then when that one gets a new leaf, I'll go up to the next rung. Rung? I don't know if that sounds right. But it's like clipped it now like into the moss pole. Okay, so this is the plant that I'm gonna uppot next. Alright, so I've got a couple of options. It's a cut version of the same pot. Or it might be a slightly wider pot that's got like the top cut off of it already. These are just, I keep pots after I've repotted stuff. Same, but that one's a bit higher, so maybe that one's preferable so far. I think that's too small. But a cute pot. And then too big. Oh, such a pity, because it's like a perfect actual squat pot. But finding squat pots that are clear are like impossible. Okay, so this one. Yes. I hate using cut pots for moss poles because without that top rim they lose a lot of their stability, but it's the price that you pay in order to get one that like fits in some of the nice pots. Well, does that look? Yeah. Okay. That is just genuinely the better pot for it. Okay. This beautiful pot as well used to have my string of hearts downstairs, but my string of hearts has been destroyed currently by, sorry, just bringing this over. It's been destroyed by mealybugs. Like actually destroyed. It's crazy. But this is the pole I'm going with because I believe it's bigger than that pole, isn't it? Yes, okay, it's bigger than that pole. So this is the one that I'm going with. Right? Yes. Keep getting. It's just a mess around me because I'm just chucking stuff on the floor. Because I think I want to put the pole into the pot. Ooh. I think that made like static electricity and just made like a whole bunch of dirt Velcro to it. Mind you, I did not read the directions on how to do the moss pole, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So we'll see if I've done anything wrong along the way. But I want to put it in till this section at the bottom is like completely in the soil. And maybe fill even like the bottom little bit with orchid bark so that it's not sitting with the moss directly on the soil. Just because these Anthuriums I found are a little bit picky when it comes to how moist they are. They don't like to be sitting in water. They can be quite cranky if that happens, and the leaves go quite yellow. So I just want to avoid that if I possibly can. All right. Looks like my moss pole is ready to go. So unlike the other one, I don't want to fill it completely. I'm gonna stop around here. Okay, we'll see how well it sort of stays where I want it to go as well. It might just all fall to the bottom and I might have to do it another way. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Okay, bottom one is locked. Kind of got to taco it. I think that's the best strat here. It's just to taco it in your hand. And that's what seems to work. Just make a little hand taco. Okay. Perfection. Somewhere in the middle. think I actually did manage to give it. Oh, nice. Okay, good. And it didn't all come crashing down to the bottom. That is so incredibly stable, all things good. Like, it feels like it's so loosely in there, and it does not feel compact at all, and yet it's like, it's pretty good at staying firm in there. Perfection. All right, I'm just gonna stuff a little bit more in there because down the bottom just feels a little bit scarce because I was worried about it all falling. So I didn't pack it too intensely, but I actually can pack a little bit more in the bottom now that I know that it's not just gonna come crashing out. Okay. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, yay. Right, so we've got some soil. I'll use this little cup. Again, also, this is alocasia mix. It's not its intended purpose in life, but it's what it will be used for. Okay. Thoughts. The pot is deeper than I thought it was, but this is about that height, so can I feel it just on one side? Trying to like level it out. I don't know if that makes sense, but I want this to be higher up. Yeah, like that. There is a little bit of the moss that's coming out at the bottom. If I just push it up a little bit. Yeah, okay. Okay. So, will that hold? No, the answer is don't do that. Don't do that. Why would you do that? Don't do that. Okay. There's so many. Look at the roots on that. Stop. Like, too good. Oh, shut up. Those look so healthy. And there's just so many, oh, look at the noodles. Yeah, that's like crazy healthy soil. And it's crazy healthy soil that I'm dumping on my jeans. How do I do this? Dig a little hole. And dig a little hole in the soil. Okay. Yes. Yes, things are happening. Did moss just fall out or am I, oh. Okay. And then, oh my god, because it's got the empty part at the bottom, that worked out so well. Okay, okay. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Don't hurt the leaves. Don't hurt the leaves. Don't hurt the leaves. Don't hurt the pretty, pretty leaves. Not the pretty, pretty, pretty leaves. Okay. I'm literally in a state of panic trying to do this. Okay. I'm gonna fill it in now. Okay, so I'm trying to put some soil around the back so that it like holds the moss pulp up. I'm laughing because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just like, I'm putting soil in and like trying to kick it into the moss pulp bottom. Is that working? It appears so. And behind the hole. Okay. Now as for the leaves and how I'm going to like attach it, the stems are so close to each other. It's like impossible to see where each stem is, but this one is actually one of the far end stems, so I thought it was a center one, but it's not. And then, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, one of these leaves has gone through another leaf, so we'll start there, as that's problematic. It's so compact, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the bottom rows, like actually take the clips off for the bottom rows, because it's just so compact. I think I would actually damage the leaves by doing that. So instead I'm just going to take, gosh, there's just so many leaves. I think I'm gonna have to take this row off and no lower, because again, it's just crazy compact down there. And I think to put even something as thin as this over the stems down there would actually just damage the some leaves, because they're all just so intertwined with each other. Stop touching each other. It's like I have to turn it towards me. I can't do it facing you guys, because it is just so crazy compact. Once it actually starts like growing into the moss pole, it'll be easier once it's a bit taller, because it will start to climb on its own. But right now, that's as best that I can do. Yeah, it's crazy. There's, oh my god. Yeah, so there's another stem, you've got the tall one here, there's another stem on this side that I want to try and get up here, but they're all like so short in the internodal spacings that I'm pretty sure I've actually damaged some leaves just with my nails, trying to like get in there and separate them. Because I could maybe get that one to like lean against the moss, but not without, I think, casualty. I'm smiling because it looks, I think that looks beautiful. So that's what it looks like now. You can see the stem there is clipped in. I wish I could show you like really in close into the pot, but I don't think it would do it justice on just like how many stems there are. So it's going to be hard to show you, but you can see in there. That's like where the stems are inside the clips. There is that. Ooh. That is another stem there that will eventually try and take hold. There is another stem there. And then there is another stem there. So it's really hard to see all the distinct different plants in there, but there are 4 in total inside of this. So the hope is that another one will run up here, another one here, and another one there. So we will see. I probably should have planted it slightly over this way, but there was just so many nodes in there that it was really hard to tell what I was actually doing the whole time. Yeah, look how stunning this plant is. So that's going to be all for today's video. I really hope that you managed to get some plant chores done with me today as well. Managed to get anything done that you needed to get done and just popped me on in the background. If you like this kind of content and want to continue doing some plant chores with me, please make sure you comment below, like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.